I mean, come on now. Come on. Come on. My sis Morgan went through a lot. Can she have a happy ending with the 3 to 4 kids on a farm? Can she please? Like, huh? Where people were complaining about how much tennis was in a book about tennis. That mind boggles me. When literally in the synopsis it reads about how Carrie Soto was coming out of retirement to defend her title for having the most Grand Slams. What do you think we were going to talk about? Like, her going to prom? Like, I don't know exactly what y'all was expecting. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel if you're a returning subscriber, and if you're new, what's up? In today's video, you saw by the title, your girl is doing something that I have been dreading and contemplating on if I'm going to do, which is basically reading 1-star reviews on my 5-star reads. So, listen, when it comes to my favorite books, like my favorite books of all time, I ain't gonna cap. Your girl gets a little defensive, okay? I will not cap on that. Now, I won't say I'm necessarily an open-minded person, but I'm willing to listen to other people's opinions on books if it is coming correctly, you know, like, you know, I don't need all that, you know, negative energy, you feel me? But like, listen, my 5-star books, they're my babies, okay? I only have a couple of them that I picked out. I have about 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 of them, and I feel like they're very wide range of books. I have a manga series here and a popular known series here as well. You probably can see them in the corner right here. But yeah, so I'm pretty much gonna be reading 1-star reviews on Goodreads of my 5-star reviews, or my 5-star reads. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to Goodreads. And so the first book that I have is going to be none other than Spy Family, okay? I should put it on this side because my recording's over here, but Spy Family, okay? This is volume 1. I like all the volumes, but I just included, you know, volume 1 of it in this series because I'm not going to go through each individual volume. I feel like people don't like volume 1, then they won't like the entire series. Okay, so overall it has a 4.51 rating, so that's pretty good. So here's the first review I have. Someone says, "Not for me. I was a bit bored by the story in the first third. James Bond was better. I originally thought it was going to be one of those creepy stories that Japan seems to be quite fond of, with an older man who adopts a young girl who eventually has romantic feelings for him. It got a little more interesting when the wife came in the second third. Thank you for the publisher for a free e-arc in exchange for an honest review." Okay, see, now listen, as I have been exploring like my manga experience of books, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some videos pop up on my timeline which is about like this weird thing with like manga or anime where the dude's like 42 years old and the girl's like 13, I don't know, and it's supposed to be like some type of romance crap. Girl, I don't know nothing about that, and I ain't read no books like that, not in manga or even in my regular books, to be honest with y'all. But that's very it's just really interesting because she said, "I originally thought it was going to be one of those creepy stories that Japan seems to be quite fond of, with an older man who adopts a young girl who eventually has romantic feelings for him." So were you going into reading this book with that opinion? Like, were you like, "Oh, that's what I think it's going to be about, so let me buy it and read it"? Like, I don't know. I mean, listen, if that's your type of tea, girl, that's your type of tea. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But if that's what I thought a book would be about, I probably wouldn't pick it up to read it. I don't know, is she like disappointed that it wasn't like about that? I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Like, was she disappointed it wasn't about that? Because it's definitely not about that. Then the next person says, "Meh, CW sexism." I don't know what CW means. And I guess sexism, I mean, okay, I can understand, even though she literally just said like that one word, I can understand where she's coming from, just because like I definitely see like the society gender roles being performed in this series, simply because, you know, you have Yor, who is the wife in the series, and she is constantly like being harassed by other women in her work field, like her regular work field, not her assassin work field. And they are constantly like, "Why don't you have a boyfriend? I mean, you're like 30-something years old." Like, they're kind of, you know how it is where they like, "Oh, where's your kids? Where's your husband?" All this stuff like that. And you haven't made it in life if you're not married, stuff like that. And, you know, stuff like that. And so I can kind of see where they're coming from as far as like the sexism comes in, but I feel like that's pretty much the like thing with manga. I mean, I see a lot of that, like the formal gender roles as far as like, you know, women, you know, do this, stay home, clean, and then, you know, you have the men going out in quite a few books. And then I also have books that is very different. So I can see if that's not something you prefer to reading, then that's why you wouldn't like this series, because it is kind of formatted that way. But I don't know where I clicked. Okay, so the next one says, I just did not love it, but that does not mean that the book is bad. By this time, I'm certain the graphic novels and manga are not for me. Okay, so like for this one, this person just kind of found out they're not really interested in manga or graphic novels like that. So I mean, I can understand. You know, if you don't like it, then of course you're not gonna like this because it is in fact manga. But yeah, alrighty. So this other one, it says DNF after 50 pages. Ideas just skimming and put it down around page 100. Oh, alrighty. Somebody else says, not my type of book. My friend said I should read it, so I borrowed his book. Did not really like it. Alrighty, and this is gonna be the last one. This seems to be a pretty lengthy review, so hopefully, you know. And this was as of this year, January 11, 2023. She made this comment. She says, I don't understand the hype and the popularity of this book. It was hard to get started, being that you read it backwards and the pages does not have much content, so it's hard to get attached to characters. I ended up not finishing it and returning it to the library. DNF. Well, I feel like this is somebody who has just got to be new to manga, because for you to have a complaint of having to read it backwards, this has to be your first manga book, because literally a good 99% of manga you're gonna have to read it backwards. I have Love is an Illusion, and that is like the first manga that I read that was actually like, what is it, right to left instead of left to right. So yeah, you just had to be somebody who's new to manga, and probably just not gonna read any more manga, because that's all manga is like. It's formatted that way, because that is like I guess the proper way in their culture that they read books like that. So to have that as a complaint or having to read it backwards, this probably just your first ever manga book. And then she said it wasn't that much content, so it was hard to get attached. I mean, I would just have to disagree with that one. I feel like it's pretty lengthy as far as like dialogue, the pictures. Even if nothing is being said, you have the pictures to really narrate what's going on. So we have to agree to disagree on that one. So yeah, those were a couple of reviews that I had picked up from Spy Family Volume 1. So yeah, we finished reading some of the reviews for Spy Family. The next book that I have that I want to read 1-star reviews on my 5-star read is going to be Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I only picked this book. I read the first 3 out of the whole entire 7 series. So I just decided to pick the first one because I mean, all 1, 2, and 3 5-star reviews. To be truly honest, okay, I loved all 3 of them, so I just decided to pick the first one. We're gonna see. I hope for this book I'm actually reading like 1-star reviews for the actual book and not the author.
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
Listen, I just want to read it from the book, not the author, okay? Because I have a feeling y'all gonna give 1-star reviews because the author. Now, on here, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Book 1 has 4.47 stars. Let me go ahead. And even on here, the 1 stars are very, like, small. Very, very small. Alrighty. Oh, okay. So these might be actually just reviews for the actual book.
Nope.
So let me go ahead. I have the first. The first one is literally the use. I don't even know. I don't know. Y'all. Okay, hold on. First of all, I wasn't gonna say like names of the actual people who are writing these comments, but literally the first comment, their name is Voldemort, and it's a picture of Voldemort. So I don't know if this is the actual like somebody just trying to be funny and making a comment about it as Voldemort is making a comment about the book, or this is an actual person and they just like Voldemort and then they put their picture as him. I don't know, but yeah. So it says this is actually somebody who's just pretending to be Voldemort at this point. It says, this is a disgrace to all pure bloods. My head looked quite dashing on that strange professor's head. If only I could have extended my stay. Harry Potter, this is not over yet. Okay, that's actually really funny because that's not an actual like review. That's Voldemort. Somebody pretend to be Voldemort and he's like commenting on the actual book. Because if you know about the book, then you know. But that's funny. That's a really good comment. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This was made like 9 years ago. Oh my god, this just shows you how like long this book has like been popular, been, you know, a thing. But it says, this review said, oh ma'am, why is she over here writing a whole essay on this? This is a dude, first off, and he wrote he must be a book, like, I don't know, he must work somewhere in like writing or something, because he wrote a whole essay. Let me see about this person. Why y'all writing so long reviews? Okay, then somebody says we don't support transphobes in this. That's just a 1-star for it. So now somebody also commented, so this is the book everyone loves. This is also 1 star. Then they added a GIF. I didn't know you could add GIFs to your comments. Ooh, okay, alrighty. So this, okay, let me read the first half of what she said. She says, I'm going to change my ratings for the Harry Potter's books from 5 to 1. And here's what. Recently I've learned that some problematic writers, and I changed my ratings for the books. See, okay, here's my thing. I'm not telling anybody how they can have an opinion on whatever, like, what, I don't even know what was said. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I ain't really on social media like that, as far as just like YouTube. That's pretty much it. I mean, I got a Pinterest, but as of that, like, as far as that goes, that's as far as I got as far as social media goes. So I don't know who be saying what and what be saying who, you feel me? I don't be knowing none of that. I just be like hearing from the grapevine, but I don't really be hearing because I don't really care, because I'm not trying to be all into like social media gossip type stuff. So whatever really be popping off, unless it's something like directly in my face like that, okay, I don't really be knowing. Like, I don't be knowing what the new gossip of what this person did or what this, like, unless you're following, like, I know it's a YouTuber who does videos about like what authors might have said or done or whatever case may be. Like, unless you watch stuff like that, which I typically just don't, because I just be in La La Land a lot of the times. I ain't gonna cap. Like, I just be like, you know, so I don't be knowing what the drama be. So I know she said something transphobic. I just don't know exactly what was said or what, like, I don't be knowing. So it's like, it's kind of hard. I kind of knew this book was going to be a hard one to get actual comments of the actual book, because so many people are writing 1-star reviews because of her as the author. I don't want to hear the 1 stars about her. I'm talking about Harry Potter and them. You feel me? About my, that's what I'm trying to read about. And it's like she said, originally her star rating was 5-star, and then she changed it to 1 because of J.K. Rowling. So it's really a 5-star. Like, that's just it. So okay, I'm just trying to see. Somebody said again, I won't support transphobe. It's like, in this house we don't. So it's just pretty much people complaining about her as the author and not for the book itself. So this one was kind of a bust as far as like getting 1-star reviews, because it's not really 1-star reviews of the actual book. It's the 1-star reviews of her. So yeah, sorry, couldn't really come for that. Give y'all some content for that one. I kind of figured that I was just hoping that it would be a couple of them, but then you had one dude who's writing a 10,000 paragraph, 10,000 word essay on what was wrong with the actual book, and I was just not gonna read all that. Like, listen. Okay, so the next book that I have, another 5-star reason. Listen, y'all, if y'all have anything negative to say about this book, y'all better come with the fucking facts, because I'm telling you right now, we will be fighting. 1,000 Splendid Suns. This is my all-time favorite book. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I read this in high school. I want to say my sophomore year of high school. I only read it once. I am currently a senior in college. This book has lived rent-free in my brain since then. In fact, I love this book so much. As a landlord, I pay them. Okay, that's just how much I love this book. Okay, I will not tolerate any disrespect. It stayed in my brain rent-free from sophomore year to all the way to senior year of college. And I remember the characters' names. And y'all know I'm bad with characters' names. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Let's get real, okay? So I'm scared because I really feel like, what could you say that's bad about the book, you know? Okay, I see it here. The rating on Goodreads is 4.42. 1 star. That's, baby. The 1 star is so small. Like, what could you have possibly said about this book that's 1 star? It's so small. Okay. Ooh, it's so small, but I'm scrolling on it. So, alright, let me start on the first one. Okay, it says, I usually don't give many books just 1 star and am extremely hesitant to do so, but to tell the truth, this book sadly deserves no more. It is full of cliches. The premises of the book itself may have been promising, but the language, the twists, etc. are tired and old. Unfortunately, Khaled Hosseini, who could have been a much better author, is delivering the same stereotypes that everyone has been hearing about Afghanistan. The characters do not ring true, and the sprinkling of Farsi words does not add to the attempt to flavor the book. The editing was terrible, the sentences too wordy, the plot too predictable and melodramatic. It is a shame that someone like Khaled Hosseini, whose first book, like Kite Runner, was much better, seems to have been rushed through this tribute to Western stereotypes about Afghanistan. I would have rather waited a few more years to read the same book if more time had been put in writing it better and editing it properly. Okay, so this is what someone wrote. Like I said, I read this all the way in sophomore year of high school, so it has been a while, and so I can't really speak on the fact of what's cliche about like stereotypes of. I can't speak on none of that because I've never experienced that. And from my understanding, he is someone of that culture. He's just a man writing the story. Because I've always like interpreted this as like the girls' version of the Kite Runner. Because if you've read the Kite Runner, if you've seen the Kite Runner, it's basically about the 2 boys. So this is about the 2 girls. And so I'm actually scrolling a little bit, and I read some comments. Somebody said you're absolutely right, but then somebody also said, so to you, him telling the story of struggle of women in Afghanistan that is very much real and happening in the real world is a cliche to you. Do you want him to write about sunshine and rainbows? And that's kind of like, again, I can't really speak on that. I feel like if this is a woman who is from Afghanistan or from that culture, I guess it's like, obviously it makes sense for her to have that type of, make a comment like that, because you have to be, I'm assuming you have to be a part of that culture to make a comment about saying stuff that has happened in that situation of the book. To call it a cliche, you gotta like I can't tell like her race, ethnicity through the picture or nothing like that, so I can't tell, like, you feel me? But I'm just saying, you gotta be a part of that culture to be saying stuff like that, because it was very deep, heart-wrenching, and I cried. I cried in this book, so just like, oh, okay. I'm just shocked to see that I can scroll for the 1 stars. Like, really, I'm trying to figure out, it has to be for me something, for me to see these 1 stars, it's gotta be that it's women of this culture who are probably like offended or how they are being represented in the book. That's how I see the 1 stars being. But yeah, I don't know. Let me see this other one. It's another one that says, at the beginning of the book, there's a note from the author that simply says, for the women of Afghanistan. How is this for any women? The 90% of the book is graphic description of torture and rape of women, and then we have the event at the last 10% mark, which should have happened in the first 10% mark of the book, and the story should have gone from there. But instead, I sat through all the horrid things done to women with no particular reason at all, so I could get to a bittersweet happy ending. So if you want to read a book for the women of Afghanistan, this is not for you. Yeah, like, ooh, like, I don't know what to say to that, because again, like I said, this is not my culture, so I don't know how to exactly respond to that. And then I'm looking at the comments of other people responding to it, and so many people are like, so are we supposed to pretend that things like that, like what happened in this book, just don't happen? And I kind of agree with that, but I also can understand, like, I just feel like these are actual, like, women of Afghanistan who are, like, feeling some type of way of how they are being represented in the book. And I guess I can understand, because for Miriam, oh baby, her life was a struggle since she was born. Like, it was a struggle. Alright, you guys, the next book that I had is one of my favorites. I love this book so much. I think I read this last year, and honestly, it was so good. It was so good. I love this book so much. But it is Alpha by Tia Rain right here. I've talked about this book. I think I talked to you guys about this book, about my top books 2022. I think I made a video and I talked to you guys about this book and about Sigma, which is like the second book in the series. So let me go ahead and look it up. The overall rating for this book is 4.38. Whew, okay, let's go to the... I'm so scared because I love this book so much with all my heart. Like, if y'all come at my characters crazy... Whew. Alrighty, let me read this, y'all. Okay, it says, this is the first 1-star review. It says, no, just no. Obviously, I'm not seeing what the other reviewers are seeing. LOL. I read up to like 46% stage, skimmed through the sappy Lifetime ending with its 3 to 4 kids, and will now delete this hot mess from my Kindle. This has the bones of a good read, but the bad writing ruined it. The characters were two-dimensional at best, and the villains, the evil mad scientist doctor, and the main female character's family had me rolling my eyes. The run-on sentences, unneeded extra words tacked on to the sentences, overdone explanations, etc. had me correcting stuff more than you actually reading through the story, which was painful in itself. I don't claim to be a good writer or anything, but I know that I could have done better than this. You know, having a dictionary handy does a lot to improve one's writing. Hell, just having Wikipedia or Wiktionary, I don't know what that is, up while you're tapping away would help. I was done. Okay, see, listen. I don't really know nothing about, like, I'm not the best writer at all. Me and words I be fighting for my life, so I ain't gonna cap. So whatever is, like, as far as that goes, I can't. Now when she went to the whole Lifetime ending, listen, my sis Morgan went through a lot. Can she have a happy ending with the 3 to 4 kids on a farm? Can she please? Like, huh? And I know what she means as far as the family rolling your eyes, but I felt like it added to her character as to, like, you know, at the end, because she grew so much as a person, because her family was trash, utter trash, okay? And she really grew as a person to become better and stronger and not let nobody talk to her crazy like her family did. So, in the mad scientist, he was crazy too, but I felt like it added to the story. So, I mean, we all have our own opinions. Alrighty, okay, so I'm seeing here a continuous thing that it was the grammatical errors and stuff like that. Again, it's been a while since I've read it, and I also read on my Kindle. I didn't read it on the physical copy, so I don't know if it could be different. I do know sometimes copies on Kindles and books are different. I just had the physical copy because I loved it so much that I wanted to have it on my shelves. But I typically read on my Kindle. I read this on my Kindle because it is on Kindle Unlimited. But this one says, again, 1 star. It says rubbish. Why is it rubbish? Rubbish. Basic and badly written. Spelling mistakes, combined words without spaces, grammatical errors, and poor vocabulary all show this so-called author's poor writing ability. Use of the present tense when referring to past events, and the characters' thoughts are so juvenile I cringe. Then the ridiculous premise of the heroine, who is richer than her husband and her parents put together, is supposedly strong enough to refuse to give in to all their demands to know how much money she has, yet she isn't strong enough to stop her parents controlling her or to leave her abusive husband, who humiliates and degrades her and demands sex from her when she doesn't want to. Really, it's so stupid. I like an alpha and a sci-fi story, but this was so poor I couldn't even continue reading. A waste of readers' time. Not good, and not impressed that Amazon allows this kind of basic writing to be published. I could stick out most books, but can't stand to read any more of this rubbish. A complete waste of readers' time. Okay, see that the whole middle part that she talks about, or he, I don't know who this is. She does that until the very end of the book though. So like, her is saying who is richer than her husband and her parents put together is supposedly strong enough to refuse to give in to all their demands to know how much money she has, yet she isn't strong enough to stop her parents controlling her or to leave her abusive husband who humiliates her and degrades her. Okay, the humiliating and degrading stuff, that happens at the very beginning. That's when her self-confidence is the lowest. That's when she is like at the lowest point in her life. Her being able to demand stuff and demand respect doesn't happen to the very fucking end, because she went through all the shit that she went through. So it's like, huh? Like, that doesn't even make any sense to say it doesn't make sense how she's able to demand this, but she's not able to do this. It does make sense because in the beginning she was very weak, she was very insecure, she wasn't sure of herself, and she allowed people to walk all over her. In the very end, because of everything she went through, she grew a backbone, she grew self-confidence, and was able to defend herself against them. So, that doesn't make any sense, because literally she grew throughout the book to where now at the end, what you're stating at the very beginning happened at the end. So you worded them wrong. So you really should have just made it to where you put the whole getting degraded and abused by her husband at the top, and then her being able to demand stuff and be confident in herself at the bottom, because that's the order it came. It didn't come. This is my favorite book. I love this book. So baby, I'm stopping at that, because baby, y'all playing. I ain't got time. Nah, the grammatical errors and shit like that, yeah, I mean, I can understand why people would not want to read it from that, because again, like I said, it's been a long time since I read it, and I read it on my Kindle, so I don't even remember. No, that probably was, but I think I was just too much into the story that I didn't care. I didn't care. I ain't gonna cap. So yeah, that was that on that. I read like 2, but they were very detailed. I would say for the most part they were very detailed in like giving how they felt, and I like that, because for so far, again, we know the Harry Potter was a bust. A lot of people for the Spy Family, they just ended up not liking manga. 1,000 Splinter Sun, that was very tricky to really comprehend, as far as like, because I feel like I don't know exactly if I was reading women of Afghanistan's comments on the book, or if these were just regular women's comments. I don't know, but that probably was like the first book out this whole entire video that actually like gave like their own little input, even though debatable. I mean, still, I think that was a really good set of 1-star reviews I feel for the book. So the next book I have is A Song of Achilles. As you can see, this is like my first book ever that I have tabbed. I'm sorry, I keep looking that way. I keep looking at my face. Usually I've been doing good at not looking at that and just looking at y'all. But yeah, look at all them tabs, baby. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do The Song of Achilles. Okay, this one is 4.37 stars. Okay, I can say for the most part, all these books have like very low 1-star ratings. Like the 1-star is not filled compared to the 5-star reviews. Alrighty, let's go to the first comment. Nope, they over here writing a whole love story. Nobody got time for that. Why y'all can't just say a paragraph and keep it moving? What is y'all some writers? I feel like y'all writing your whole life story on a 1-star review. I don't need all that. Y'all, I can't find one that's just plain. Okay, here, this one isn't too bad. So this is the comment. I'll take a picture. It says, I am so fucking mad at this book. Sad to say this, but it offers nothing more than an LGBTQ young adult romance, which just helps to be set during the Trojan War. Patroclus is portrayed as a whiny little he is portrayed as a whiny little bitch, incapable of yielding a spear, instead as the great warrior he is in the Iliad. I always forget how to pronounce that. Is it Iliad? I think the Iliad. This makes Achilles' decision to let Patroclus pretend to be him to look like nothing more but a suicide mission. She's not right. Only if by some magic he manages to kill. See, these names in this book was killing me. I ain't gonna cap. To kill. Y'all see the picture right there. I ain't about to see all that. Not because of his skills, but by blind luck. After barely surviving this, he decides to climb the wall of Troy. What the actual fuck? Achilles chooses to claim Briseis. I forgot how to pronounce her name, y'all. Just to save her, and both him and Patroclus create some sort of refuge camp for young girls. Patroclus even teaches them Greek and poetry skills. Excuse me if I missed something, but is he the new Sappho? Also, Patroclus sleeps with Dardania, who bears Achilles' child, just because he feels bad for her. I'm sorry, but if the love of your life suffers someone and impregnate her, I really thought the logical reaction would be to sleep with the same woman out of pity. Ooh, okay. No, 100 times no. The second star is for Miller's writing style and the beautiful final scene. Well, she didn't give 2 stars, she gave 1. Okay, now listen, since went in. Now, again, I've never read the Iliad. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. but I've never read it. I plan on trying to read it and trying to buy it, but I'm just trying to figure out which copy I need to get, because I feel like there's so many copies of like Greek mythology books and stuff, so I'm just trying to figure out which exactly copy I need to buy to get the right one to understand what the hell is going on. Because I felt like originally when I was getting into this book, I was like, I'm not going to understand what the fuck is going on, but I actually ended up understanding a lot. Oh, sorry you guys hear noise in the background, but I actually did understand quite a bit of what was going on in this book, and it was very, again, Miller's writing style was 10 out of 10. Was recommend. Okay, she did her thing, but I mean, baby, I always said this in my mind, but Chocolates was definitely a bottom. Like the way he was simping over Achilles, it made no sense. And it sometimes, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was sometimes where I felt like Achilles was sharing, he was giving that same energy, but I also felt like it was sometimes where I felt like, dang, Patroclus is really giving a lot of energy, and Achilles is really not meeting the standard of what I need him to be meeting with Patroclus. But oh yeah, okay, she did what needed to be done. Ain't okay. This part, why y'all be writing y'all whole life story? Just give me a, okay, this is another one. So it says, it appears there are a ton of unpopular opinions on here, so here I am to share my not only unwanted but unpopular opinion on this one. I am going to fight BookTok on this one. This book has such a drag to read. I pushed myself through this one because everyone was saying that the ending was so good, but at last I had them let down once more. I found that this dragged on, and honestly, the writing style was not my favorite. Not to mention there's a page where that name was mentioned literally 9 times by name. It was painful. I cannot do it. Nope. So thanks for nothing, BookTok. All you gave me was Evelyn Hugo. Ooh, interesting. I like the writing style. So yeah. Okay, here's another one. It says DNF at 25%, not worth wasting my time on something I'm utterly not interested in. This is simply a MM romance cloaked in mythology. I mean, I ain't gonna cap. Was I complaining? No, I wasn't complaining about that. Let me try to find one more that's like, okay, this is gonna be the last one for this. It says DNF at 53%. Considering the hype around this book, many people might not like my thoughts on it, but then this book truly frustrated me. Both Patroclus and Achilles have no personality. They're absolutely boring characters. In fact, I found the books to be boring and overrated. TBH, couldn't find a single interesting character. The author seems to be having good knowledge, and am not undermining that, but there's no substance to the story. It's just going on and on with nothing actually happening. There are people who say that it gets better towards the end. I tried reading it, but I was skipping pages more often, and it's something I really don't like doing. I don't think I'll ever pick this book up again to give it another try. Okay. I think she made it half through. I feel you. When you get to half through my like 53%, you like, you still don't like this? Just DNF, sis. Just DNF. That's all you gotta do. Just baby. Alright, y'all, I have the next and last book that I have to do a 1-star reading review of my 5-star read. It's going to be Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, am I kind of prepared for some of the comments I'm going to see on this book? Yes, because I did this like a long time ago. When I first finished this book, I read some of the comments, and I was just like, the comments were like stupid as fuck. I'm sorry. I know everybody has their own opinion on stuff. Listen. It's okay. We can all have our own opinion. This book actually won 2022 winner Goodreads Choice Awards, and the rating is 4.25. Let me go ahead and start this first one. Okay. DNF at 32%. I absolutely adore TJR, and I have and will read everything she writes, but this I just can't finish. It's very well written as per the usual of this author, but there were a few things that just didn't work for me. Carrie's father repeatedly speaks Spanish at length. TJR makes no attempt to offer any translations or explain what was said. Readers who aren't fluid will be left clueless. Did I miss something important? Did TJR insert a hidden gem? I'll never know. I kind of want to dissect that. Like, I don't know. Like, like, first of all, if you was reading this on the Kindle, you wouldn't have that problem. No shade, no, I'm serious though, because you know the Kindle, you can look up what words mean and stuff like that. So you probably wouldn't have a problem as in interpreting what they were saying in Spanish if you read it in the Kindle. I didn't read this on the Kindle though. I did read this physical copy, and even though there was exactly there were parts where they were speaking Spanish because they are Hispanic characters, where they were speaking their language, you know. I didn't care. I didn't care enough to like pick up my phone and look up what they were saying because I didn't feel like doing that. But you could have easily just did that, you know. But I feel like I get what you're saying. Like, Then the next thing says, also this book is about tennis, not tennis, but all caps, tennis, as in the entire book to the point I threw in the towel is about tennis. There's no drama, no mystery, no plot. There is just the history of a tennis career. So unless you really love tennis, you're going to get really bored really fast. That sounds really harsh, I know, but maybe I'll try to finish this again in the future one day when I'm in a different mood. But until then, just know. Now that's when the stupidity comes in. I'm sorry. Did you not read the synopsis of it though? Did you not read the synopsis? She said, no plot, there is just the history of a tennis career. Yeah, that's the whole synopsis of it. Like, that's really one of the consistent comments that I have saw a long time ago. So I see none of these comments have updated where people were complaining about how much tennis was in a book about tennis. That mind boggles me. When literally in the synopsis it reads about how Carrie Soto is coming out of retirement to defend her title for having the most Grand Slams. What do you think we were going to talk about? Like, her going to prom? Like, I don't know exactly what y'all was expecting from that synopsis. Why y'all wouldn't think it would be about tennis? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense. Next comment. You're a little lengthy. I ain't trying to read all that. And my issue with this book is that I don't appreciate when white authors write about marginalized communities. TJR is already an author that has had more microaggressions in her writing. It's a great idea for her to tackle a Latinx character, especially adding in Spanish, especially getting some words wrong. I'm not sure if she had sensitivity readers, but they definitely failed her. I honestly think we don't have enough Latinx writers writing characters like this, but to get it wrong was just a total fail. TJR such stick to writing strong female characters, which is what Carrie Soto is, and that was amazing, but let's leave the race out of it. Because of that, this book gets such a low rating for me. It bothered me the entire time I was reading the book because I'm a Latinx reader and I can't just turn it off. Thanks to Net Galley for an arc. As always, all words are my own. Again, that's somebody from that community who didn't just want you writing about them. Hey, I can't tell you how to feel on that. But somebody was like, just say Latin. Latinx is meaningless and the Hispanic community doesn't appreciate it. I don't know what none of that mean, girl. I don't know. But hey, more power to you. Okay. This is another one. Is you long? You is. I ain't got time. You long? Yep. Y'all writing y'all whole life story for a review. Just write a couple paragraphs. Alrighty, here's the next one. It says, thank you. Okay, all these people giving them arcs for something. I don't know. It says, so I was worried I wasn't going to enjoy this as much as TJR other books, and I was right. As someone who is a tennis player and has been for 20 years, was absolutely bare minimum research was done in the sport. It was also came to my attention that TJR took inspo from the Williams sisters, but no credit is given to them. This book is another bad example of having bad representation. There are so many authors, other Latinx reviewers that will explain this better. Please listen to the community this harms. A big yikes is also TJR has said in recent interviews that it's not her place to write about marginalized characters. Then why do it? Okay, see this is new. See, this is what I mean when I just say I just be reading stuff. I don't even know about the drama of the book community, nothing like that. I just be reading. So when y'all be telling me shit be popping off, I'm like, oh, okay, hold on. It says, then why do it? If you have to, at least have someone who is a part of the community to help you develop the characters and the characters' experiences. I had to sit on this a bit, but I really did not like this, and I am happy I wasn't the only one. I felt super pressure initially to give this a good review because it is TJR, But who even I am to have received an arc, you know. Listen to the community you're harming, and please leave the stereotypes out. Okay, I like this comment. I really did, because she was like, even though the girl before, who was also a part of the Latin community, I just like, you know, first of all, I'm not gonna lie. While I was reading this, did Serena Williams pop into my head? Yes. I ain't gonna cap. Is it because that's the only tennis player I really know? Yes. Is it because she's black? Yes. Like, I'm sorry, I really don't know a lot about tennis. And that is one thing that I also heard a comment on. I don't think it was on Goodreads. It was just a general comment before. And that's where I was like, I could understand why people would not like it. As far as the tennis, like, if she explained tennis incorrectly. Because for me, again, I don't know nothing about tennis. I tried it once, never tried it again. Because, baby, I couldn't even hit the ball. So, as far as that goes, the most I know about tennis is Nintendo Wii. I was a pro on the tennis, baby. That's all I got for y'all as far as knowing about tennis. Anything other than that, your girl don't know not a damn thing, okay? So, I could see how people, like how she says, she's somebody who likes tennis. So, people who like tennis, and if something is being, like, portrayed incorrectly in the book, I could see where they would get this a low rating. For me, it wasn't a low rating because I don't know nothing about tennis. If I knew about tennis and I was reading this and some shit was wrong, I'd be like, hell no. 2 stars. Okay. Again, I can't speak on how the representation is on this book because, again, I don't know exactly the struggles or, like, the, you know, issues that could be faced with Latin characters. So I don't know. I cannot speak on it. So when they talk about things as far as, like, stereotypes, I can't speak on that because I don't know. What else did she say? Now, the whole thing. Now, okay, so here's my thing with the whole Taylor Jenkins Reid in general. I have The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I was contemplating if I was ever going to get that book because I had heard some of the drama. Let me tell y'all this right now. When I read that book, I already know the whole damn plot because I had read so many, like, reviews and watched so many videos of why people did not like the book. But I decided to get it anyway because, again, at the end of the day, everybody has their own opinion. So what you might not like might not bother me. What I might like might bother you. We all in our own different boats. So, you feel me? So I was just like, let me try it out for myself. I still haven't read it yet. But, yeah. So, with the whole marginalized characters, reading that she had commented on that, I can understand why you feel some type of way. It's like, why you would write another one. Because, again, this is about, I believe, a biracial girl. And then also the main, Evelyn Hugo, I think is Hispanic, white Hispanic as well. And the girl who's interviewing her is biracial, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, girl. Baby, y'all came with the comments. Y'all came. I feel like for the Taylor Jenkins Reid in the Song of Achilles and even Alpha, my other 3, it was just, well, I still feel like even with the Thousand of Stuns, there were comments, but it's just like, I felt like I just didn't really, I can't really, you know, argue that, you know, because, again, this is your experience. As far as I would think that those are the women who are a part of this community who are talking about how they feel about being written this way. So it's their experience. I can't really comment on that. It's just, it is what it is. The Harry Potter, y'all really talking about Harry Potter now. You talking about J.K. Rowling. And I just want to know about Harry Potter. How y'all feel about him? 10,000 comments talking about J.K. Rowling. So I couldn't even get nothing out of that. And then for the Spy Family, y'all really just talked about, you really wasn't into manga. This had to be your first rodeo of it because some people were complaining about having to read backwards. You kind of had, yeah, that's kind of like manga, you know? So it's just like, yeah. I mean, this is the first part. Maybe I'll do this again if you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys did. I mean, I feel like I can go to sleep peacefully tonight. You know, like, I don't feel like I really want to, you know, box anybody tonight. You feel me? I feel like I'm feeling good. You know, because usually I'll be ready to fight somebody. You know, especially for Alpha. But I feel like I would have to reread it again. Because a lot of people was talking a lot about the grammatical errors. And I was just like, do I remember anything? It's been a while. So it's been a while. But I'm not knocking. I think, you know what? Because I remember it's been times where I read certain Kindle books and they will give you like a notification that, hey, it's some errors in this book. it could have been a possibility that they was notified to me about the books, like the Sigma, Alpha, to the point where I wasn't really thinking nothing about it, to where I would rate it bad because of it, because they gave you note, because like certain books on your Kindle, or I feel like all the books, if it's an error in the book, they will tell you it's an error, so just be aware of it. So if they've got the actual physical copy of the book and they saw these errors, of course they wouldn't have gotten that notification. So they maybe, no, it just depends on when you read. Maybe that's why I'm so like, what grammatical errors? Or maybe there was something I knew about it, but they warned me ahead of time that there were going to be some errors in the book, if that makes sense. If you get the physical copy, you can't get warned of that. You just get the book and you read it, and then you see it for yourself. But again, I've read books with grammatical, error, and like if I love it enough, I'll love it. I don't knock it down for it just because it's some errors in there. That's just me personally. But y'all, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Also make sure you turn your notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And with all that being said, I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.